Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to be discussing the latest patch because over at the Bethesda support site, the developers have answered quite a few questions. And this is a recent update because what they've done is talked about specifically why are the shields decreasing, or better yet, why are the enemies not spawning when a ship has landed. This is just a few examples, but we're going to be talking about so much more in today's video, so with that being said, let's dive right into it. There is no doubt that the latest patch has caused quite a few issues for the game currently, as well as the patch prior when they decided to remove the chest exploit, which some of you have speculated that that's the main reason for all the bugs that have popped up as of late. Personally, I doubt that that's the main reason for all the issues, but we'll get into more of that later on into the video. But for now, let's talk about what bugs have been fixed as of late and what the developers have said. If we take a look over at the Bethesda.net support site, we can see right away that they have talked about a current Starship issue. The developers have said this right here: what do I do if I have another starship stuck to my ship? We are aware of an issue that some players have ships stuck to their starships. This will be resolved in a future update. If you would like to be notified of updates on this topic, end quote. I'll just end it right there. So pretty much right there at that part, you can tell right away that they are talking about the current problem where you could connect a den, the clinic, or pretty much any starship to your ship, which was pretty buggy because what this would do is break Jemison, or specifically Atlantic City, to a complete oblivion, to where your textures do not load up properly, you will fall below the map, so will the NPCs, just various issues like that, for example. So I'm sure a lot of you are excited to hear about this because I have read quite a few comments in the past where some of you have experienced this exact issue, which I'm excited that it's been resolved, and now you can expect something like this to be fixed either in the beta patch that will eventually be the full release patch, or it could be shortly after this. Honestly, I could not tell you, but I'm excited to bring this information to you. Next, we're going to talk about another ship glitch, but this time it has to do with shields. Right here, the developer says, why are my ship shields suddenly decreasing? We are aware of an issue where your ship shields may suddenly decrease. This issue will be resolved in a future update. Nice, so this is another huge bug that's been resolved and something that you can expect to be fixed shortly. Moving on towards the next spaceship bug that is going to be resolved, and this has to do with some of the enemies not spawning. What you can see right here, the developers have said, what do I do if enemies don't spawn from ships on land? We are aware of an issue that prevents enemies from spawning from ships. This will be resolved in a future update. Awesome, another great update that will be arriving here soon. What would be nice is if they can include all of these updates, or all of these fixes I should say, into one big update. That would be nice. Now on to main missions. This one was recently updated and it's for the Revelation mission. What you can see right here, the developers have said, quote, we are aware of an issue where players may be unable to hail the Helix after defeating the Starborn ships. This will be resolved in a future update, end quote. But they do have a workaround from what they've said right here. In the meantime, you can side with the Hunter or choose not to side with any of the Starborn as a workaround. That's a potential way that you can use that, but honestly, I don't know. I've yet to come across this bug, certainly, so I could not tell you what you need to do, but definitely try that out if it helps. And last but not least, this bug has been updated as of late as well, and it's going to be a faction mission specifically for the Crimson Fleet, and the mission's going to be Legacy's End. Right here, the developers have said, we are investigating reports after defeating the Crimson Defenders, and the UC jumps in and nothing happens. And when attempting to board the key to complete the mission, docking is unsuccessful. While we investigate these reports, yada yada yada, and so they include some more information there about what you can do for troubleshooting and whatnot, but that's another thing that's being looked into. If you want to check out the huge list that I went over in the, 2 weeks ago, I will leave that link down below for you guys that want to check it out because there's a lot of bugs that they've talked about and some things that they're going to be fixing. So if that's something that you would like to watch, let me know down below and I will leave a link in the pinned comment. Anyways, this is pretty much it when it comes down as of the recent comments that the developers have left over there at the Bethesda support site. Continuing on, what I would like to talk about as of recently that I've been experiencing, which has just been absolutely a game-breaking bug. I'm not joking. This is what has been happening to me as of late, and this is only in the beta patch. I'm not too sure if you have experienced this personally. If you have, let me know down below so that way I feel like I'm not alone here. What's going on right now is when I do pick up a legendary item, whether that be either on the ground or from a body, what happens is that the item itself will turn gray, it's not displayable, and not only that, when I try to equip the weapon, it's also invisible. So really in the end, I'm kind of left here just with some sort of, paranoia that my next weapon that I have is going to turn into a gray version that's not usable at all. The video clip that you see on the screen right now is going to be showing you another instance where I came across the same exact problem, where I opened up my inventory and I see 2 gray weapons. And guess what? I cannot use them. Yep, I cannot use them at all. Sure, I can equip them, but the item itself is not there visually. So even though I have it equipped, I cannot see it. I cannot look at the display, and on top of that, the item itself is no longer beefy. Instead, what I have now is a complete diarrhea gray version that is no longer useful. Again, if you have been experiencing this problem right here, let me know whether it was in the beta or if it's in the previous patch, aka the current patch right now. Next, we're going to talk about Todd Howard because recently he was featured in a Wired video where he talks about some of the games he's created, and most importantly, he talks about Starfield. Specifically towards the end, he says this right here, quote, "We still have people that work on 76 and a team there, and doing updates for these games. We have about 250 on Starfield." End quote. During this interview, he does point at Fallout 4, saying that there is some updates still going on there, so we can expect that next gen update sometime soon, hopefully by the end of this year, because I know so many of you are expecting that still. Because a lot of you out here still play Fallout 4, which is awesome. That game's one of my favorites. With that aside, he also talked about Starfield, like I mentioned. 250 people working on Starfield is pretty crazy. That's a good amount of people. And I'm wondering whether or not they're going to incorporate more ideas like the Star Station DLC. If you guys have yet to check that out, I definitely recommend it. There's also talks about 5-star and 4-star weapons also existing within the Starfield universe. What I mean by this exactly is that you can think sort of like Fallout, right? Where they had the 4 and 5-star weapons, right? Well, with this, you're going to have 2 additional effects. So instead of having 3 on your weapon, you're going to have a total of 5. I've talked about this in a prior video about maybe a month or 2 ago. I will try to find the video and link you to that specifically. But this is something that you can expect as well, and it's awesome to see that there's 250 developers that have been incorporating their ideas and essentially creating a really solid game. Well, that's if we were to put the bugs aside, right, and just not even think about it. We could say that Starfield genuinely is a really solid game. And last but not least, we're going to talk about something here that's been asked quite often is, when will we see the next big update? Which is a good question. We, of course, have received the recent update, which is 1.8.84, and that's the beta patch, and that was on November 10th, 2023. The beta patch number prior was 1.8.83. We can definitely expect quite a few more changes coming along to the beta patch, so do not expect this to be the final patch. Trust me, this number is going to change as more changes are being made. Trust me, it's going to happen. If you take a look over at steamdb.info, you can take a look at some of the depots. Right here towards the branches, you can see some of the changes that have been made. dev_tech, QA_staging_main, QA_staging_main_debug, and then we have flight as well. Then directly beneath this one, you can see the beta, which is public to all, and then on the right side, you have the number, and of course the day that the change was made, which was 6 days ago, of course. But with these changes, you can definitely expect that there's going to be a few things being made towards the beta patch here soon. If I had any idea, I would say it's going to be tomorrow. I would also assume that there's going to be probably another week of testing, and then maybe that next week afterwards will be the final patch. This is my best guess. Let me know what you think exactly about everything that we've talked about so far in the video. If you've been experiencing the invisible guns, or if you've been experiencing some other bugs that is not listed, definitely let me know down below. If you guys have yet to subscribe, do that now. Let me know if you have enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Other than that, thank you guys for the support, and I will see you all in the next video.